Hey, all you cool cats and kittens. It's Carole Baskin from Big Cat Rescue. And you know who's not cool? Larsa Pippen. Yeah, man, I could not believe when I signed online today and saw that Larsa Pippen was posing with cubs, swimming with tiger cubs, really oversized tiger cubs at that, at Doc Antle's facility at Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. He has a place called Tigers and Preservation Station, and so he's got a little place down at the place called Barefoot Landing where it's like a tourist trap where people come in, they pick out the cub they want to pose with, and then he does this kind of thing back at his compound. I can't believe that he's doing this. I mean, Antle is already under indictment for wildlife trafficking and animal abuse charges, as are his daughters, which, if I was getting my daughter involved in something so horrific as the things that I believe they are doing there, I would be doing everything I could to protect her. And instead, what is he doing? He's inviting people out, letting them come and pose with these oversized cubs. You can see behind her head, there's a guy that's holding one cub up on her shoulder. And the reason that people put these tigers into the water is because tiger cubs don't want to be held. All they want to do is get away and play with each other. They don't want any part of us. And so the way that they force them into these photos is to put them in water over their heads so that they have to hang on for dear life. And it makes it look like they're hugging the people. Instead, they are just scared witless because they're cubs. They could drown and they know it. And so I can't believe there's still anybody out there that would do this kind of thing. And then I see the celebrity do this. So I was just mortified and I had to calm down. And I told Deb and Luana I would deal with this a little later in the day. I'd put together some kind of alert where we could have everybody reach out to her nicely and tell her this is not the right way to treat cubs. Just send her to the cubtruth.com page. And thankfully, within like an hour or so, the internet had already taken care of that for me, and her fans had already taken care of that for me, and for all of us who care about wild cats. And so they were telling her all kinds of things, saying things like, I'm going to quote here, her own fans had this to say: "What a self-indulgent prat. No way she should be encouraging the abuse of these animals go through so some airhead can take a selfie. Disgusting." Another one said, so sad. Just when I thought I couldn't dislike this woman any more than I already do. Ugh. These poor tigers are clearly sedated and look very distressed. Shame on anyone who supports this cruel practice. This is immoral on so many levels, a third person added. And it's been like that for her all day. So I do want you to find her on social. You can find her on Facebook and Twitter and TikTok and everywhere. What's the other one? Instagram. Look up Larsa, L-A-R-S-A, Pippen, P-I-P-P-E-N. But you can be a whole lot nicer to her because we have the high road here. And people don't listen when you're calling them names. They just shut you down. And what we want her to do is actually become a voice for these animals and to show that she was misled by these people and didn't realize what she was doing was wrong, surely. I mean, can anybody really be that heartless as to do this, even though they know what happens to these cubs? I hope not. So we need to educate her and let her know that these cubs are ripped from their moms, they're exploited by anybody like her willing to put money on the table, and then they end up who knows where. And speaking of that, I just got some really good images of where the Siegfried and Roy tigers are supposedly living. They're saying that they're living at the Mirage, whatever they call that, the Magic Garden, Secret Garden. But there's only a few of the cats there, and they had a lot more cats than that on their census. So I'm trying to figure out where the rest of the cats are, which is probably a whole lot worse than the Secret Magic Garden. And from the images I got from Emily McCormick, who had visited there, really worried about the condition of the animals. I mean, those photos were horrible. Tiny little ugly cages. It just did not look like any kind of an environment for those majestic cats who made those people multimillionaires. And if that's the best of where they ended up, I can't even imagine where the worst is that they ended up. So we're going to keep looking into that, and we will keep you posted on that. But for now, look up Larsa Pippen. Let her know why this is cub abuse, and she really needs to be a voice for the animals, not somebody that further exploits them. I have a coordinator report today on happier news from Lauren Grant, who says, we were a bit short-handed today, but we still had a great day. Bonnie Farrago, Bridget Sardone, Bethany Smith came in to help Kat and me with feeding. Bonnie and Kat cleaned all of the big cats. Stephanie came in to clean the little cats with help from Bridget and Bethany. Catherine came in and helped Stephanie complete food prep. Stephanie had an earlier lunch than the cleaners, so she did the meat inventory while everyone else got lunch. Before we were done with lunch, Bonnie, Kat, and Stephanie got some projects done around the property. We finished the day with some rain, yes we did, and some chores. Thank you again to everyone who helped out today. And, speaking of the rain, it was raining when it was time for me to go home last night, so I caught a ride with Jamie because I couldn't ride my bike home, which means I had to drive my car, my truck actually, to the sanctuary today so that I can pick up my bike and take it back home. But that means that I can stay here a little later today. So a little later on in the day, I will go out and do a wildcat walkabout. I'm going to plan on doing that right around 4 p.m. And I hope to see you there. It'll be on Facebook, and I'll be live around 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Stay cool, cats. And that's Saturday today, January 16th, in case you're watching this at some other time.